Welcome to the Mayhem News Live Wrestling Broadcast with your host, the Man in Black, a.k.a. T-Mib Lives. Each week we're here talking about the wrestling headlines and covering everything from Impact Wrestling to SmackDown. Join us each Tuesday via MayhemNews.com and the Mayhem News Live YouTube channel. You can subscribe to both and keep up with wrestling news and our show. Welcome to the Mayhem News Live Wrestling Broadcast for 4/29/2014. I am the Man in Black, a.k.a. T-Mib Lives. And today we've got some interesting things to talk about. Not too big of a show, but, we're going to try. WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley announced on Facebook that he will not be signing a new Legends deal with the company. He said he would be writing more details about this next week or so, but it would be fair to say that despite strong sales, I've found the payoffs for the past two video games to be extremely weak, in the 25% range of what most talent was expecting, Foley wrote on Facebook. So Mick Foley is not happy. He don't think that they're being treated right as far as the payoffs for the video game. So, well, as gamers, we're not satisfied with the game either. So we feel that Roddy Piper should have been there no matter what, and among other things. So, hey. Moving right along. The only thing unmentionable on TNA was Magnus fires Abyss, but said if he could defeat him at Sacrifice, Abyss would get his job back. I guess they found out that the fans knew what they were talking about and, wasn't actually going to agree that Abyss needed to be a bad guy right now. So we'll see how that goes. Thursday's TNA Impact Television show. I hesitate on the word because I use it loosely. Drew a .85 up from the .83 rating the show drew the prior week. Impact averages a 1.088 million viewers for Spike TV, down from the 1.015 viewers who tuned in last week for the final 15 minutes of a pay-per-view go-home show drew. And and the final 15 minutes of this pay-per-view that they were talking about, this go-home show, drew only a .69 rating. That's not good. But that was pretty much all that was mentionable about TNA. News on Rey Mysterio. His knee is actually fine. It hasn't been giving him problems lately. He is out of action right now with a hand injury. WWE expected to sign Rey to a new deal soon. But for the first time in years, his merchandise numbers are not near the top. The guy's not been on TV, and he's had some injuries, and they all do, so you just have to work with him. WWE.com has put up the latest video in their Fantasy Warfare series, and this time around its promos the match wrestling fans have wanted to see damn near 2 decades, Sting versus The Undertaker. I actually watched the video. It was a very well done video. The latest update on Sting and WWE, according to reports, he has not been confirmed that he has actually signed with WWE contract, but at this point it is considered a formality that he is signing with the company. Basically, he's coming, and it's very possible the contract has already been signed. There are only a few select people that actually know what's going on regarding the talks, but we won't know until he actually shows up. He did do some things on the WWE Network for the specials on Warrior, and the company is planning also to release a Sting DVD in the fall of this year. All we can say is it's about time. SmackDown and Raw were kind of rolled all into one. My problem is we actually they have a bad habit of actually recapping one show on another. There was some interesting things that took place between Daniel Bryan and with all the Daniel Bryan stuff, and then the Shield and stuff. I actually like this kind of Shield. This is what they should have been in the first place. They should have come in as an actual, I wouldn't say face, I would say chaotic neutral, maybe you're not really sure, Stone Cold kind of thing. Not really sure if they're good, you're not really sure if they're bad. And, I just think it would have been a better way to do it. But, I'm not a booker, so. Raw did have some interesting points. Triple H found out that he is not the only person that can bury another wrestler. Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, come out and pretty much buried Evolution. And, I guess Triple H says, "Hey, I'm following a new thing. It's not evolution; it's natural selection." Just a science joke. Anyway, but Ric Flair came out. Wasn't his jumpy bounce off the rope self. I think to the point he's gotten, with his bones and joints, I think he's got to the point where he's deciding, it's probably going to be wise to be safe. He came out, he pretty much buried Evolution. They thought that he was building them up. But what was really funny, the only person that actually sold it was Randy Orton. Randy Orton literally looked pissed off. And he either sold it that well or he was actually pissed off about something that Ric Flair said. So the Shield has been endorsed by Ric Flair, who is the founding member of the Four Horsemen. Now, there's something you need to think about. Founder of the Four Horsemen has just endorsed a 3-member team called the Shield. Now, that would be an interesting twist. Probably not going to happen, because, well, we don't get what we want. Anyway, I do like the fact that that maybe 3MB is actually getting a little bit rid of Spec. Don't get me wrong. I hate the band storyline. The members of 3MB are actually great wrestlers. Jinder Mahal, when they first brought him out, he could have been the next Davari. He could have been the next Sheik. I mean, he literally had the ability to be a great heel. They just didn't do him right. Okay? Take Heath Slater. I think they should have continued the thing with him coming out challenging the legends. It got him a lot of publicity, and it actually made him more, let him win some, let him lose some, and then, you've got the chosen one, the Scottish chosen one, Drew McIntyre, supposedly handpicked by Vince McMahon, and he's doing a gimmick. He's literally doing a really questionable gimmick. I did like the fact that they let the Shield run around and pretty much take out everyone that was on the big, their handicap team that they faced. They took out everybody, and I really liked it. I think it was a great way to go. And Bray Wyatt, all I can say is, out of the mind of Dusty Rhodes, if you will. That is something that came from Dusty Rhodes' mind. Bray Wyatt, when he leans over backwards and puts him hands down and walks across Exorcist style, I don't blame John Cena. If he's not truly worried, I would be like, dude, how do you do that? That looks, it looks painful. And I just don't know. It just gets me, that, and then you have Cena standing in the ring, and he makes a statement. If you're around long enough, you eventually become a villain. And of course, WWE thinks we're supposed to forget that John Cena was actually a heel before, long time ago when he first came out. But they think we're going to forget that. But most real fans know, that he has been a heel before. Yes, it's been a long time since he's been heel. And it just seems that him saying that if you're around long enough in this business that you're eventually going to become a villain is maybe them, he actually questioned the WWE Universe. He came out asking why. And then Bray Wyatt coming out with the choir and singing, he's got the whole world in his hands, and all the little kids when it's got the mask on. I have a feeling that if it was real, truly, truly real, I think John Cena would have some nightmares about that. Dude, I can't sleep anymore. I mean, we haven't heard any new news on Jeff Jarrett's new thing. I know that he does have a roster pool that he can pull from. Hopefully, we will see that roster pool. So I know they've mentioned Mickey James and some of the people that has been with TNA. I just don't know what TNA is going to do besides pretty much bore us to death. Sometimes it's actually painful to watch. Don't get me wrong, I love some of the superstars, Bobby Roode, Gunner, James Storm,
great wrestler.
Even Rockstar Spud has actually started to grow on me a little bit.
Belong in WWE though.
But it's just where they're at. They're like these, if you put a goldfish in a pond, in a bowl that's too small, it'll eventually die. And there's some of these people that don't need to be in TNA. They need to be somewhere else. And, I'm not saying that at times WWE is not a superior product, because WWE has their problems as well. What I'm saying is that where they're at now, they cannot, they can't spread their fins. They can't grow. They can't become a true entertainer, because there was a time where Jeff Jarrett and one of the country singers, Toby Keith, was actually going to buy TNA. And the reason why they didn't buy TNA was because the Carter father would not sell it to them unless they allowed Dixie Carter to keep some form of power. And pretty much Jeff Jarrett and Toby Keith was like, well, if we're not going to have the reins, then we can't do what we want to do, then there's no point. So they backed off and started their own. And, those TNA wrestlers might have actually got, and, they can, people at TNA like to make fun of Jeff Jarrett, but if it wasn't for Jeff Jarrett, there would be no TNA. Its success was because of Jeff Jarrett. He was in charge. Y'all were just supplying the money. Well, when that changed, you started bringing in people like Hogan and Bischoff and Vince Russo and,
Hell, Vince Russo ruined WCW.
Yeah, he had help too. I mean, if you were going to bring in someone, and I know he's controversial, bring in Jim Cornette. Reach out there and see if you can pull him away from, wherever he's at. Vince Russo. Or Vince Russo's talking about me. Stop it. Anyway, pull in somebody like Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette reminds me of what Paul Heyman is. Paul Heyman can walk into an audience and 40%, 50%, 60% of the people have no clue who Paul Heyman is. Give him 5 minutes, and if you don't know who Paul Heyman is, you're taking out your phone and you're Googling him and seeing who he is. And there's been a lot of talk that people were wondering now who is going to take down Brock Lesnar a notch. And there's a lot of talk about one person, and that's Roman Reigns. That would be a match I'd want to see, as long as Roman Reigns was given a fair shot to win and wasn't just hey, he's Brock Lesnar, we're going to let him win. But you're going to get on TV and a pay-per-view. Here's the perfect scenario, or scenario, however you want to say it. Tomato. Anyway. Alright. Let's assume, and I know what happens when you assume, but let's make assumptions. Let's make assumptions that Sting has signed a contract with WWE. That has happened. They have sat down, he has turned in his contract, and now he is actually a member of the WWE roster, even if it is limited. Now, everyone thinks that Taker's done. That he may not have another match, and this might be true. But let's put that aside for a minute and say that they've said that for the last 5 years. They've said that, this will be Taker's last match. He's gonna quit at 19-0. He's gonna quit at 17. He's gonna quit at 18, 19, 20. He's gonna quit and then we're not going to see him again. But he's always come back. We know that he got some sort of concussion. It wasn't a broke bone. It wasn't a hip. It's something he can come back from. So let's just be open-minded and say that The Undertaker has one more match. Now, Paul Heyman is saying that, and a lot of people are saying that he passed the torch to Lesnar. I don't think he did. I believe that The Undertaker will come out and he said, I'm going to retire, but I have to have my retirement match. Then, of course, Lesnar would come out, and Paul Heyman, of course, would have to do the talking, because talking to Lesnar is like talking to a V8 motor block with it turned off. It's just sitting there. He would say, well, we will be glad to give you that match. And The Undertaker says, no, you ended the streak, and I understand that. But the person I want to retire to, and that's when Sting music hits and when he walks down. And pretty much you set up the Taker-Sting match, but you also give some heat between Sting and Lesnar, who have never faced each other, ever. This would be the first time they stepped in a ring together. Now, Undertaker you can't really say that about Undertaker, because when he was Mean Mark Callis in WCW, he actually faced Sting a couple of times. But we're not supposed to know that. We're not supposed to know that. Or at least we're supposed to have selective memory and not remember that. But as far as he was Mean Mark Callis, he was Mark Calloway. He was not The Undertaker. The Undertaker did not exist. So in reality, both sides of the blade is true. Yes, he's faced him before, but he wasn't The Undertaker. And no, he's never faced The Undertaker in a match. So this would be the perfect scenario. Sting would come in. He would get what he wanted. He would get a match with Undertaker. No streak involved. Just two icons. Icon versus icon. Quote a phrase. Just give me credit when you use it.
Actually, Icon versus Phenom.
Oh, well, that's actually better. That's actually better. My wife's got an even better one. Icon versus Phenom. Oh, yeah. Of course, The Undertaker may say, well, I'm not really the Phenom anymore, because now I'm just The Undertaker. But you've got two ways to go now. You've got Icon versus Icon or Icon versus Phenom. Now, that would be perfect. And also it would allow, because normally when you have somebody as popular as The Undertaker, the person facing them is usually a heel. Unless you have that sort of match where it's one icon versus one icon, or vice versa. So this would allow Sting to keep face as well as The Undertaker. And it would be a great match. It really would. It was something, and Sting is not, if he comes to WWE, more than likely, Sting is not going to be that much of an in-ring wrestler. He is nearly the same age, if not the same age as The Undertaker. He does have a few more steps than The Undertaker, but I figured that this would be perfect. It would allow him to get into WWE, do a match, and if he wanted to follow up with something after the Taker match, and it would not be like he was retiring Undertaker. Undertaker is going to retire after this match. And you would have a moment like you did the last WCW Nitro. Ric Flair and Sting in the ring, finishing it. And as Tony Schiavone said, it's amazing what we're watching. Sting and Flair pretty much opened up WCW, and now they're closing it. So that would be awesome. I think it would be great. As far as the network, I know I'm having problems finding, like when Raw has come out. I thought it was supposed to be a couple of minutes after the show. I know they're still tweaking, so I'm going to have to go and find out how long it takes. Because there are times when, I don't want to sit here and watch it on the big TV. I'd like to go in there and, watch it sitting on the side of the bed or something like that. So, but as far as that, my WWE network experience has been great. I don't have any complaints yet. Last pay-per-view was a little when it first started, the WrestleMania, but as it got going, there was less of a lag. But now we got the upcoming pay-per-view, and can't say I'm not going to watch it because, they're all on the thing. So it's just going to be interesting to see who they let win between Evolution and the Shield. The Bray Wyatt stuff is going to be interesting. And I'm really liking this, the Bull versus the Leprechaun. The WLC match. I may have to check that out on the app just to see if it's funny or as cool or awkward as it's going to be. But this has been the Man in Black. I want to thank my sponsors, ZachPackPromotions.com. I want to thank Fiddler and the Throttle Band who gave us our theme song, New Blood. They do have some stuff out. If you can find them on Amazon or you can find them on iTunes. I also want to thank Girls with Big Guns Clan, and also mine and my wife's Fight Disability Slurs, WordPress.com. We're trying to stop people using disability slurs. It's an uphill battle, but, hey, it's something that's passionate to us. And I also want to thank out an affiliate, the Joe Cronin Show. Check him out, the Joe Cronin Show on YouTube. And I also want to thank and send out a shout out to Blast 52, an Irish band that me and my wife talked to on Twitter and Xbox, and they have some great music. And hopefully soon they're going to be coming to America and doing some stuff. You can find their stuff on the little ad thing I have at the end. Has all their links and stuff. So I appreciate it. This has been the Man in Black and a.k.a. Team of Blues. This has been Mayhem News Live Wrestling Broadcast, and we're out.
Welcome to the Mayhem News Live Wrestling Broadcast with your host, the Man in Black, a.k.a. Team Iblives. Each week we're here talking about the wrestling headlines and covering everything from Impact Wrestling to SmackDown. Join us each Tuesday via MayhemNews.com and the Mayhem News Live YouTube channel. You can subscribe to both and keep up with wrestling news and our show.